voices will be heard. Loud and clear. Please join me in prayer. Hosted Shalom Bimromav.
Okay, yeah, we are live. Sorry, I'm just testing out this. Something just happened, so I just filmed a bit of a kicking off incident right now. Just setting up the camera. Bear with 1 second, guys. Putting the charger in, sorry. Scheduled behind time, but now we're here broadcasting live.
Hello everyone, my name is Fifi. I'm a Londoner, but family's from Israel. I've come all the way from Liverpool to sing along. I wrote this song when I was in Liverpool on my own. I've been just moved to Liverpool first year.
Okay,
I was away from home and I woke up on the 7th of October.
Okay, we are now broadcasting live outside the BBC at the Israel protest in central London. Welcome to the channel if you're new. Remember to hit that big red subscribe button and also click the bell icon so you stay up to date with future live streams or videos like these in the future. As we see, there are a couple hundred of Israel protesters behind me right now, and an incident just took place earlier. There were a group of Palestinians and I recorded it, pre-recorded it on camera just before this live started, so I'll be uploading that later on, so stay tuned for that. But yeah, we just got some really good footage just 2 seconds ago, so yeah, this should be an interesting rally. I'll go around, try and interview some people as well, so yeah, thank you once again, and apologies I'm late because yeah, we were held up en route, but now we're here, we just arrived, broadcasting live for you guys.
And all we want to do is hide. News today filled with stories about a land I used to know.
Guys, I'll just show you what just happened.
Knocking down my identity, and all we see is dying, all we hear is crying, and all I want to do is hide. See is fire, and all we hear is lies, and all we want to do is hide.
Just take a quick walk around, show you the size of the protest.
But we're not going to hide. Going to hide. Thank you very much.
Rape is not resistance. 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 Rape is not resistance.
Rape is not resistance. Rape is not resistance. Rape is not resistance. Rape is not resistance. Rape is not resistance. Rape is not resistance. Rape is not resistance. Rape is not resistance. Rape is not resistance. Rape is not resistance. Rape is not resistance. For more than 30 years, Pastor Bo Ace has served Christian senior church leadership, supporting victims of trauma and abuse on their healing journey. She is a Maori from the New Zealand tribe of Ngāpuhi and contributes to the activities of Christian action against anti-Semitism. Bo.
I'm humbled to be here. And I'm overwhelmed by the lyrics of that song. And I'm furious that you've been so brutalized for so long. The human part of me is utterly outraged. Rape is not resistance. And somehow we have to get that message across. Even having to stand here and explain that concept indicates a depth of human depravity that should at the very least, shame every fence sitter into action. No one in their right mind could ever justify or glorify the barbaric rape culture shot through with sexual sadism and butchery such as became evident from the terrorist October 27th GoPro footage and from first-hand testimonies of survivors and released hostages. Have we handed the world the evidence on a plate? Of course we have. Have the courage to look at it, people. I am so tired of the propaganda that would whitewash these heinous crimes, these heinous war crimes, excusing them as resistance, dumbing them down to something that is justifiable and acceptable, or denying them altogether. I'm tired of watching people be gaslit against Israel, a nation that any of us with any knowledge know we should fall to the ground and thank God for all they've given us. And I am tired of watching the Jewish people and the nation of Israel be victim blamed. I'm stunned by media apathy toward the extent and inexcusable depravity of October 7th. Why the hell isn't this registering on a human level somewhere with so many? I don't get it. I find much of the media to be biased and therefore untrustworthy, irresponsible, untruthful, manipulative, hateful, and dangerous when it comes to Israel and therefore her people and Jews everywhere. How can it be that something happens in the nation of Israel and Jews everywhere have to fear for their life and run and hide? This is beyond sick.
Shame! 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 Shame!
It seems to me that reluctance by the press to accept first-hand testimonies of survivors or released hostages has emboldened Jew haters to yet further disgraceful and malevolent anti-Semitism. I am left to conclude that for the most part, the press are unmoved by what Jewish people have suffered and are still suffering. Reporters, editors, please report the whole truth. And how about taking off those anti-Israel, anti-Zionist, anti-Semitic lenses while you're at it, through which so many of your despicable articles are written. Why do I say this? Because there is truth to tell about the sexual sadism and barbarism of the terrorists against Israel on October 7th. And our press, the media, the world media, they're responsible for the truth they know, yet refuse, or is it lack the courage to tell? One thing why I'm so proud of the Jewish nation, your indomitable spirit. Nations have tried, but they will not put you down. They will not. Why does the press insist on repeating in print terrorist propaganda and racist, defamatory slogans? They must surely know this legitimizes and reinforces terrorism and has partly and probably fueled an exponential rise in anti-Semitic attacks. They need to take responsibility. They are culpable. And while I'm on it, I object to the rebranding of Hamas, a globally recognized terrorist organization, being often up to us as freedom fighters. Oh, get real, people! I think our press needs to tell the truth about the danger on our London streets as these marches, which have clear anti-Israel and anti-Zionist agendas, have become a regular fixture. It's just not safe for people anymore. Anybody who doesn't agree, it's not safe. Why to this violent terrorism? If nothing else, doesn't anybody care about the logistical nuts and bolts costs to the taxpayer? Or the fear mob mentality creates? Or the brooding violence that is just under the surface? Oh, and if no one is asking those questions, don't you find that rather unusual? Why have aid agencies not been brought to book for their clear failure in even the most basic humanitarian care toward the hostages? There are two sides to every story. Come on, press, isn't it time you told Israelis? I believe that every culture which advocates, supports, and practices rape as a means to terrorize, subjugate, control, humiliate, and dominate needs to be confronted and loudly condemned. Rape is not resistance. Rape is not resistance.
Rape is not resistance. Rape is not resistance. Rape is not resistance. Rape is not resistance. Rape is not resistance.
Rape is not resistance. And rape is never okay. Sexual sadism, wherever it is practiced, should revolt us all. Every rapist and every rapist culture who considers they can trade in women's bodies for the degradation of women needs to be punished.
Well done!
you see it earlier? I haven't got it. Over there.
Tony Martin's about one way.
You are between the proverbial rock and the hard place. Damn if you do, damn if you don't. And all the while that brings anguishes, who knows where, suffering, who knows what. This is sickening and abhorrent to me, a Christian with great love, admiration, respect and gratitude for the Jewish people. Well, let's be very clear if there are any Christians out there. Christianity owes everything to the Jewish people. I could rail against the darkness of these evil times, or I could hold the light of solidarity and say, Israel, you did not deserve October 7th, neither the Shoah, nor the vitriolic tropes and baseless canards that have provoked so many pogroms and nihilistic persecution against Jews. Can it be that media outlets dare not face the horrors of so much historic anti-Semitism? For then surely they would have to own their own part. Jews and Israel have been sorely disabused, relentlessly pursued, unjustly terrorized, barbarically slaughtered, and then blamed for the calamities that wicked men have rained down upon them. As a Christian, I believe it is my duty to love Israel and the Jewish people, for as I said, Christianity has and is nothing without the Jewish people. After all, 6 weeks ago we celebrated Christmas. Newsflash, Gentiles, Jesus is the most famous, worshipped, revered Jew who ever walked the Judean, and there's a tip, the words of the name, Judean countryside. Christians, my people now, please wake up to how much we owe the Jewish people. I want to take a moment to say thank you to the Jewish people. It is your Torah that teaches me about God. Thank you to the Jewish people. It is your prophets and their warnings to walk rightly before God that have tempered my own strong will and life choices. I want to say thank you to the Jewish people, for without your wisdom books, I wouldn't have had that guiding light in my life. That's to say nothing of every great poet, scientist, thinker, philosopher, mathematician, inventor that has come out of the land of Israel and blessed the entire human race in the process. Thank you, Israel. Thank you. I just want to thank you for this opportunity and say rape is not resistance. Bring them home.
Bring them home! 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 Bring them home now! Our next speaker is Nicola Richards from the Conservative Party, a member of Parliament for West Bromwich East and co-chair of the All-Party Group Against Anti-Semitism. One of the youngest members of Parliament who was elected in 2019 when she was just 24 years old, she has been one of the most outspoken voices in Parliament about the sexual crimes against humanity and war crimes that have been committed against both female and male Israeli hostages for the last 120 days. Please welcome Nicola to the stage.
Thank you. The 7th of October was the biggest loss of Jewish life since the Holocaust. And as a result of that, we have seen the largest increase in anti-Semitism since the CST's records began. And it's also against that backdrop that my generation is silent. They're silent about the anti-Semitism that we're seeing weekly on our streets, but also silent about the sexual violence perpetrated by Hamas against innocent women and girls. And now that's not because my generation don't know they have a responsibility to know what's going on in the world. And it's not because my generation don't care about the safety of women. Far from it. I'm proud that we all unite against gender-based violence because as a young woman, we are able to put ourselves in the position of a woman killed walking home, or spiked, or drugged, raped, or attacked. As women, we know what it feels like to be vulnerable, but there's a blind spot. My generation are not talking about what happened to Israel and Israeli women on the 7th of October, and what is still happening to women and girls held hostage. Hamas sought to desecrate the bodies of men, women, and children. They used rape as a weapon of war. They wanted to disrespect women's bodies to the extreme. They wanted to dishonour them and then eliminate them. Last week in Parliament, we had the privilege of hearing firsthand from witnesses in the aftermath of the 7th of October. These brave individuals sought to restore the dignity and respect to the women in their very last moments before their burial. The scenes they witnessed were unimaginable, and the pain and suffering the women in their last moments of life, unthinkable. We owe it to these witnesses and the victims to not allow the disrespect Hamas showed to humanity to continue. Those who remain silent about these crimes against humanity will continue in the work of Hamas.
They shoot them! They leave them! You know what?
Brave supporter! Shame on you, brave supporter! Shame on you, anti-Semites! You're shouting at them, you're shouting genocide supporters.
You guys are so
Why don't you? Like you did last week, try.
Look at you smile as they talk about the rape of Jewish women. 7th of October, they live stream the rape and murder of Jewish women and children. Literally showing genocide supporters it's on camera. That's a pathological liar. Rape supporter and pathological liar. Because we have the right to stand here just like you have the right to stand there. We have freedom of speech.
Have a look, it was you baby then.
See this 1-year-old baby that you're smiling at. What kind of a cold-hearted
You don't know from how Palestinian babies what they do to our babies. We found elderly people, the idea from elderly people, put in their beds, and put their elderly tigers to the right. That's what you have genocide supporters right here. Like they are right. They've been killing people for the last 3 months and they're still at it. Get out of here. You're not scared of us. Go down your own shit, bitch! That's the shit.
She loves space and astronomy. She's one of the 4 members her family still held hostage. That's after 5 family members were already freed in an earlier hostage deal. Doron Steinberger is 30 years old. She's a nurse and a vet. She lived in the beautiful, peaceful Kibbutz Kfar Aza before the morning of the 7th of October when she was abducted after hiding under her bed while the terrorists massacred her friends and neighbours. Cherie Bibas is 32 years old. She was kidnapped with her 2 children. Fear has since turned 1 in captivity. We all know their story. Cherie's sister-in-law in an interview said, "I will try and describe our nightmare to you. A week or so ago, we received a message from Hamas that Cherie and the children were killed, and we still don't know if that's 100% true." Carmel Gatt is 39. She was kidnapped from Kubutsky-Berry, along with her mother, brother, sister-in-law, and 3-year-old niece. Her brother and sister-in-law and 3-year-old managed to escape before her sister-in-law was captured again and then released after 54 days of captivity. Carmel remains held hostage. Her mother was murdered. Judy Weinstein is 70 years old. She teaches mindfulness and meditation, as well as teaching English to children. She was on a walk with her husband, aged 73 years old, when they were shot and kidnapped. These stories are horrifying, but I'm listing these women's names today because their families don't know if they're okay. With the last hostage deal being so long ago, it's been months since anyone has had any sign of life. And I'm listing their names because of what Hamas did to women on the 7th of October and since. In Parliament last week, we heard from a Zaka volunteer. He described going into people's houses in the wake of the attack and finding 2 children with their father dead in one room. In the other, the mother, also dead, hands tied together, kneeling on the floor, bent over the bed, trousers down, covered in blood. And then they had to run. Hamas had put a grenade in her hand. Their bodies were booby-trapped. They raped women, they shot them during and after. Sometimes they killed them before they raped them, sometimes they killed them during. There are witnesses of gang rape, breasts cut off, women shot in their vaginas. Bodies arrived to be identified naked, or with their underwear and clothes blooded and torn. A police officer was asked how many rape kits were used. None. None because these women are dead. I watched 47 minutes of footage on my recent visit to Israel. I didn't know what a face looked like after being shot. I didn't know what a body looked like when it had been burnt alive. I watched Hamas terrorists enjoy every moment of this, posing for photos with the dead, calling their parents to brag about killing 10 Jews. They dehumanized these men, women, and children. They sought to erase their identity and take away every scrap of dignity. So for every single individual who tells me these events never happened, they are doing the work of Hamas. For every woman my age that has stayed silent, they are doing the work of Hamas. My generation have largely remained silent, and that is precisely why I will not. So we're all here today to say very loudly, rape is not resistance. Hamas are terrorists. Me Too counts for Jews, and never again means now. Thank you.
So the next song I'm going to sing is Lean On Me. If you know it, please feel free to sing along. By the way, this is Italian on guitar.
Sometimes in our lives, we all have days, we all have sorrow, but if we are wise, we know that there's always tomorrow. Lean on me when you're not strong, and I'll be your friend. I'll help you carry on, for it won't be long till I'm gonna need somebody to lean on. Please swallow your pride if I have a thing you need to borrow, for no one can fill those of your needs if you don't let them show. You just call on me, brother, when you need a hand. speaker and a personal friend. Liat Kurdi is a co-founder of the Jewish-Kurdish Friendship Association in the UK.
Hello, Lord Vice. My friends, on the 7th of October, the people of Israel, Jewish people, the children of Zion, woke up to a nightmare. A nightmare that made us question the meaning of humanity and realize the level of atrocities that fellow human beings are capable of. A nightmare that reminded Jews all over the world of the injustices, massacres, pogroms, genocides that their ancestors endured throughout their history. A nightmare that is still going on, still ongoing, and it will not end until every single hostage returns home and every single Hamas cell is destroyed. On the 7th of October, we watched the indiscriminate killing of young, old, men, women, the raping, the hostage taking, the abduction of old people, Holocaust survivors, and babies. All happened before our eyes. All happened before our eyes. We heard victory chants, the promises that similar attacks will happen over and over again until every single Jew is killed. Although Hamas took pride in what it did, some people in the West were quick to defend them, and they even claimed that a massacre did not happen at all. It was all a lie, a fabrication, an exaggeration. Shame! 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 This mindless and heartless claims led to the state of Israel sharing 40-minute long video footage taken by Hamas itself to journalists from media outlets from all over the world. And guess what? The BBC was one of them. They were one of them. Their journalists were invited. Shame on you! Shame on you!
Ayatollah BBC! Shame on you! Shame on you! From the BBC!
So BBC, their journalists, saw the footage showing the reason why Israel had to, forced to defend itself. The very reason why Israel had to stand up and defend its own citizens, just like any other state would do. Yet, this did not stop BBC News refusing to add this context, continuing to broadcast Hamas propaganda, and blaming Israel for taking military action against a terrorist organization which is banned in the UK. We are talking about Hamas. It's a terror organization. selling your soul to evil, for standing on the wrong side of the history. Again, shame on those who are blind to hatred and anti-Semitism. Shame on you. Shame on you. My friends,
BBC, shame on you. BBC,
shame on you. Shame on you, BBC. My friends, as my beautiful friend Yochi introduced me, I'm Kurdish. I am Kurdish, and I am standing before you as a Kurdish woman from a non-existent country. And I want to say it out loud and clear that in this unjust world, in this mad world, there is still people who are standing on the side of truth, justice, and humanity. There are people who are standing on the side of Jewish people and their homeland Israel. And Kurdish people are one of those people. We are with you. We are with you. When Yazidi Kurdish people got attacked by ISIS in 2014, you might remember those atrocities. Men got beheaded, women, children got raped and were abducted. 10 years on, there are still thousands of hostages whose whereabouts and fate is unknown. What ISIS did to Kurds back then is almost identical to what Hamas did to Jewish people on 7th of October. One difference though, one difference. The difference is that when Kurdish people and the coalition forces fought against ISIS, nobody expected them, asked them to stop fighting against ISIS. Nobody asked them to stop the war and have a ceasefire with ISIS. Nobody claimed that fight against ISIS was a genocide. So why do some people take streets to urge Israel to have a ceasefire with the terror, with Hamas? Why are they claiming that what is going on against Hamas is a genocide? We're talking about Hamas. That is a terror group which shares the same ideology, same tactics as ISIS. So, why do they shamelessly claim that Israel's war is a genocide? What is going on here? It's beyond me. I can't understand it. I think we know the reason then. What Hamas did has nothing to do with resistance. What Hamas did is another example of atrocities that stem from a very dangerous ideology. An ideology that never accepts anyone who is different, which does not obey or assimilate. An ideology that is obsessed with the idea of world domination. An ideology that can only survive by tyranny, torture, corruption and bloodshed. An ideology that is camouflaged as Palestinian rights, as fake resistance rhetoric. I hope that people in the West will wake up to the reality that unless the international community have the guts to challenge and defeat this ideology, the beheadings, the rapes, and hostage taking will be a norm. Not just in the Middle East, but everywhere that this ideology is exported to their cities, to their streets. Sooner or later, my friends, this nightmare will come to an end, and Jewish people will prevail. Until then, let's say, I'm Israel Chai. Israel Chai.
introduce the Right Honourable Joan Bryan, MP, who is the Chief Executive Officer of ELNET, who served as a member of government for the Home Office. Joan served as a Member of Parliament for Enfield North for 18 years in the Labour Party, and in 2019 Joan was appointed as the Honorary President of Labour Friends of Israel. These are just some of her accomplishments. We could say a lot more, as we could about all of our speakers, but please join me in welcoming her to the stage. Thank you, Joan.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everybody. I'm no longer a Member of Parliament. I'm a former Member of Parliament. I resigned from the Labour Party to call out Jeremy Corbyn and the anti-Semites. Has moved so far away from that scandal, that offence to all of us. I want to say thank you for inviting me to speak this afternoon, and I want to commend the Human Chain Project on the work you're doing to raise the continuing plight of the Israeli hostages and to remind people in Britain of the terrible events of Saturday the 7th of October, which you are all doing here today, and we have to keep on doing it for as long as is necessary to bring them home. Bring them home! 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 In the past, I have visited Niros, Netiv HaHazara and Kfar Aza. The kibbutzniks lived under the constant shadow of rocket attacks. But the people spoke not with fear or hatred about their neighbours in Gaza, but with compassion and sorrow. They told me we are all victims of Hamas. We need to remember that here in London. I find it hard to think about the atrocities which Hamas committed, which I too have seen on film, in those beautiful, close-knit, peace-loving communities. More than anybody else, they reached out to the people of Gaza. Murder, torture, mutilation and abduction committed in the most sickening and brutal ways. I find it difficult to think about the acts of sexual violence that Hamas perpetrated there, at the Nova Music Festival and throughout southern Italy, southern Israel. Sexual violence has long been a weapon of war. You know, there's an advertisement on television at the moment that says being a woman shouldn't be a risk. If that's so well recognised, why is there not more attention to what happened to the women of southern Israel on the 7th of October? Hamas wielded that weapon of sexual violence in a premeditated and planned and systematic way. And let's be clear, Hamas are continuing to wield that weapon against the hostages it continues to hold. 4 months on, we remain shocked, but in truth, we cannot say that we are surprised. Hamas has long ago told the world who they are. They are not agents of resistance. They are not an anti-imperialist movement. And they are not, as someone famously once said, dedicated towards the good of the Palestinian people and long-term peace and social justice. No,
they are anti-Semites, and they are misogynist with genocidal ambitions. And their hatred for Jews and their hatred for women combined on the 7th of October to atrocious effect. But what I do find hard to conceive is the disinterest and the indifference, and yes, the denial, with which these crimes have been received outside of Israel. Where are the mass demonstrations? Where are the keyboard warriors of social media with their moral certainties and extreme dualistic view of the world? Where is the revulsion? Where is the outrage? Let me be more specific. Why did it take over 7 weeks for the UN Secretary General, Antonio Guterres, to call for an investigation into Hamas sexual violence crimes? And why did it take UN women a similar length of time to directly address this issue? Why do we hear so little from many of those who quite rightly insist that when it comes to violence against women, we must believe the accounts of survivors? Some women, apparently. And why have elements of the media failed to give this story the space, time and prominence which it undoubtedly deserves? Sadly, I think we all know the answer. It is that for too many, Jews and Jewish women simply don't count. Today, we're here to make clear that we don't believe that. Jewish lives matter, Jewish women matter, and we will make them count. I want to end on a more hopeful note. It's not easy against what happened and what is continuing to happen. But it's important. Israel has produced many strong, remarkable, heroic women. And its very own Wonder Woman Gal Gadot. Today I want to add to that list. I want to pay tribute to all the strong, remarkable and heroic women of Israel who have spoken up and spoken out against the crimes of Hamas committed on 7th October. Together they have ensured that those crimes are researched, documented and publicised. Together, they have sought to alert people of conscience around the world. And together, they have ensured that even though there may never be justice, there will not be silence. There will not be silence.
Before I would introduce our last speaker for today, and around brave women speakers, I would like each and everyone who's holding a banner or a poster, raise them up high and say loud and clear, rape is not resistance! Rape is not resistance! Rape is not resistance! I would like to introduce Fleur Hassan Nahoum. Fleur is a London-born politician active in Israel. Fleur serves as a deputy mayor of Jerusalem. He's in charge of foreign relations, international economy, development and tourism. Fleur is an alumni of King's College London, active in human rights. Please welcome Fleur.
Good afternoon, my brothers and sisters. Shalom to you all, and thank you for being here. I was here another 2 months ago when Orit and her group of incredible activists organized a march, and we prayed that we wouldn't have to be back here. We prayed that our hostages would have been home by now, and yet still here we are. And it seems like the world has turned upside down in 4 short months. And let's think for a second, what was happening last year at this time? Last year at this time, the world was standing with Ukraine after the aggressive attack on Russia. No ifs, no buts, no context. Russia attacked Ukraine, and the civilized world stood with the people who'd been attacked. Israel gets attacked on October 7th in the most brutal, savage way. And the next day, the victims are not even cold in their graves, and there's marches around the world blaming us, blaming the victim. We're being attacked. When the women of Ukraine were raped, it didn't take the UN women 8 weeks to write a tweet that then they retracted until they wrote another one. They were investigated. They went over them. It's taken 14 weeks for them to wake up, to come and make a little bit of noise like they're going to do something. The world turned upside down. When the Ukrainians needed refuge, the whole of Europe took them in. And yet, with the Gazan civilians, Egypt won't even open their border to give them refuge, and the world doesn't care, because it always has to be Israel's fault. A war we didn't start, a war we didn't want. Scenes we never thought we would have to imagine in our country, that never, ever would have been imagined in our country after the horrors of the Holocaust. The reason we have Israel is because we never wanted to be victims like this again. And yet here we are, with the world upside down, with the BBC who can't even say that Hamas are terrorists, even though the UK lists them as terrorists. Shame on you! Well, raping women and men is not news, so they don't cover it. No, because God forbid Jews or Israelis should be victims of a war we didn't start. That is not in their lexicon. And so here we are, yet again, with the world turned upside down. And look around you. In the UK, scenes of hatred, pure hatred, every single week, where somebody carrying a British flag is told by the police to go home. What is happening with this world turned upside down? Where yesterday you had calls on the street of people saying that they want victory for the Houthis that are funded by Iran. When the Houthis are attacking British assets in the Gulf, the world turned upside down. And now, in the next few weeks, we will be coming up to Purim, which is supposed to be a happy festival. But let me tell you where we are right now. The mosques have been revealed. And those people who are marching, they were always anti-Semites. They just tried to convince us that anti-Zionism wasn't anti-Semitism. And even our own children were falling for it in universities. But the mosques are off. And who do we have to blame for all of this? Iran, who is behind everything. And I'm so proud that our Iranian brothers and sisters are here with us today. Thank you. You have been the only people from the Middle East with the courage to come out and reveal the mosque of Iran. People who openly support terrorism with no shame, because the whole world has been brainwashed to believe that somehow we are responsible for this. That somehow, even though we left Gaza in 2005, it doesn't matter. There's still some type of mythical occupation that we do not have the right to live in our ancestral homeland, where we became a people 3,000 years ago. Again, the world turned upside down. The best decolonization project of the last 100 years is the state of Israel, and they make us into the colonizers. Shame. And at the end of the day, we have to just be realistic and understand that this, as Lord Rabbi Jonathan Sachs said so eloquently, this is yet another iteration of the age-old hatred of Jews. 500 years ago it was religious, 100 years ago it was ethnic, and now it's about the Jewish collective. In this post-colonization world, somehow we became the colonizers, and why? Only because anti-Semitism is a clever virus that just scapegoats any ill of the day. It takes a new mosque every single generation. And that is why they don't care about our women and our men and our elderly still in captivity. Because it doesn't matter to them. Because this is just an age-old iteration. But let me tell you the difference today. The difference today is that we have a country, we have an army, and there's a price for Jewish blood. The difference today is that we have allies, like our friends from Iran and the Christian community, that are out and proud for the Jewish people. The difference is that even though this is the worst thing to happen to our generation after the Holocaust, we will prevail. Am Yisrael Chai! Bring them home.
So the last song I'll be singing, and again, please do sing along. It's called Le'or Hayam.
כשאנשים רצים לתופת כמו אליהו, אני ארוץ אל תוך האש, יחזרו משם לאורך הים בין גלים. יש עולם שנשאר מרסיסים על המזח, לאורך הים בין גלים. יש עולם שנשאר מרסיסים על המזח. תגיד לי איך עם המוות אתה חי, מסתיר הדמעות בכל לילה. תגיד לי עד מתי האש שקוראת לי לא נמצאת שם באמת, וזה שנעלם האם יחזור עוד פעם מת. לאורך הים אין גלים, יש עולם שנשבר מרסיסים על המזח. לאורך הים אין גלים, יש עולם שנשבר מרסיסים על המזח. תגיד לי איך לעצור את הדמעות.
This is the part where we say thank you. I want to say thank you to our speakers, our wonderful, wonderful speakers. Very powerful. To the display. Of course, to you, you're our voice. Thank you to the police, the CSTA for your unwavering support. We want to say thank you also to our friends, the Christians, the Muslims, the Kurds, Ukrainians. I see a green flag over there. And Cyprus, yes. And but the most important, I want to say a deep thank you to the Iranians. You've been with us from day one. Every single rally, I see those flags. Thank you so much. There was one placard that I noticed, a message from Reza Pahlavi, Crown Prince of Iran. On that placard it says, I want the people of Israel to know that the Islamic Republic does not represent the Iranian people. The ancient bond between our people can be rekindled for the benefit of both nations. We at the 710 Human Chain are infinitely grateful for your participation. Without your help, we cannot have an impact. Your presence is what reminds the public that innocent civilians are still held hostage. They are gagged. You are their voice. We are committed to continue reminding the world about the kidnapped men, women, and children. If you want to help us, please consider donating on our website, 710 Human Chain. We will now hear the national anthem of Israel and the Great Britain. And please remain with us, because after that we're going to hear one last message from the exhibit. So I'm going to invite on stage the 710 founders. Please join us for Hatikva.
כל עוד בלב הפגע Lord, save our gracious King. God, live our noble King. God, save our King. Save him victorious, happy and glorious, Lord, to reign over us. God save the King.
Thank you very much. Before we make the last announcement, I want to remind everybody that on the 11th of February we will be supporting the Iranians. So please follow us and we will announce the details in the coming days.
I want you, sisters, be with me. I want that right now we're going to scream the biggest scream you can do for our Israeli hostages in Gaza right now. The voice is not loud. They are going to hear it right now. When I say to three, 1, 2, 3.
I'm head away on Saturday and I'm going to be away for a few months, so I can't. Thanks, Tom. Thank you.
I can't keep up. I get all these stories about Karen Stew went here, Karen Stew went there. I'm like, I'm tired listening to them. Like, really, it's enough, you know? Oh.
Lovely to see you.
Nice to see you. I'm sorry for the Zimbas that every Sunday.
I'm just going to quickly.
We're now broadcasting live down on the streets of London, outside the BBC at the Israel protest. The rally has just finished. We recorded all the speeches, got some interesting footage at the beginning as well, which I'll be uploading very shortly, so stay tuned for that. But it's been a successful live stream and overall great weekend in terms of streaming. But thank you for all the support, and a huge shout out to all the moderators for keeping the live chat clean as well. Really much appreciated. Thank you once again. We are broadcasting live. We'll try to do some interviews maybe, see if people are up for them. But if not, we'll be ending the stream very shortly. The rally has just ended. We recorded all the speeches. We got some interesting footage at the very beginning, which we'll be uploading probably later on this evening. So stay tuned for that. Turn on the bell notification button as well. So remember to support independent freelance journalism as we cover a variety of events on this channel across central London and across Westminster as well. So we do a bit of Horse Guards parade coverage as well, and yeah, we cover a nice variety of things. So stay tuned for more content like this in the future. We'll probably be going live again next Saturday, seeing if there's anything else going on. So yeah, stay tuned for more content. Trying to meet some people.
We are the Shah, and he is our Shah of the Shah. Of the Shah of the people? Yeah. The Shah, in other words.
Hi there, my name's Louis from Another Alternative.
Of the King.
How are you? So would you mind telling my viewers basically why you're protesting today outside the BBC?
Because the BBC, we call it the Biased Baloney Corporation. And there's another B you can add to that, but we're too polite. Because we think we're born here, but we're Cypriot Greek. And we support Israel. We support Israel. It's the right thing to do. It's the right thing to do. Because so much anti-Semitism in this country, you wouldn't believe it. It's like toxic. It's a perversion. I can't understand
I think it's
why.
demonic.
Yeah.
What do you want to see? What do you want to see from the UK government in terms of their response?
Well, the government's doing its good thing, but it needs to be stronger. But everyone's having a go at what's his name, Rishi and Keir Starmer for supporting Israel and all this rubbish, and they keep supporting the Palestinians. All right, the Palestinian people.
Of course, we love the
Why do they
Palestinians.
keep going around taking rivers to the sea and Hamas this and Hamas that, as if it's Israel's fault? It's always Israel's fault. Whatever they do, they're the scapegoat.
Thank you, people of Cyprus. We're actually coming out.
Thank you. Bless God, bless Israel. And with Iranian
Here as well. Freelance independent journalist. So yes, I'm. Yeah, do you want to say a few words to the camera?
Yeah, I'm not Jewish, but I support 100% of Israel to beat Hamas, because Hamas is a terrorist organization and they're doing cruel things to humanity. So I think Hamas should be not to be here on earth.
And I think they should ban these pro-Palestine marches. They're not pro-Palestinians. These people are not pro-Palestinian. They just hate Jews. Evinced by they never turn out for Cyprus. Never turn out for Kurdistan.
Where are they when we're saying free Cyprus,
Armenia,
free
where?
Kurdistan, free Armenia from Turkish occupation? They're nowhere, these leftists.
They just hate
nowhere.
Jews.
Because Jews aren't involved. If it was Jews occupying Cyprus, they'd be out in their hundreds of thousands. Because Turkish, and we love the Turkish people, we love the Arab, Palestinian people. In fact, as Christians, we try our best, please God, to love all people. Sadly, most people, their brains are seared, as it says in the Bible, their conscience is burnt. All they know is hatred.
Yes.
Are you pleased with the turnout today?
It could be a lot bigger compared to the Palestinian ones. I think it's disgraceful. It's only Jewish people and a handful of Christians, blah, blah, blah. Where's all the thousands, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands supporting Israel, what is right?
Where's the English?
We owe our culture, our civilization, our religion to Jews, to Judaism, Jesus Christ.
And even if
Jewish.
we didn't, it's humanity, it's common humanity.
Yeah,
when they
it's all
say
this poison.
How come Nazi Germany succeeded? Where were the German people? I'll tell you where. Same as English people today. Where are the sensible, freedom-loving, life-loving?
They say most Muslims are not. We know that.
We love the Muslim
The majority moderate ones, they're irrelevant because minority, the fanatics that do that, and it's Islam and Islamism is the same thing. They try and dress up. It's not Islam, it's radical, it's extreme. No, it's what you find in the Quran. Kill the Jew wherever you find him. A rock or a tree will cry out, there's a Jew kill him. That's in their Quran, that's where they get it from. So if they're devout Muslims, unfortunately, that's what they're called to do. And that's what these fanatics do. The modern ones, thank goodness, they don't read their Quran. I've got many Muslim friends, lovely people. Lovely people, but I'm afraid the religion is not a religion, it's an ideology to take over the world.
Do you have any family and friends in Israel who are personally
We have
affected
friends, yes.
by the situation going on?
Friends, yes, and they had to flee. And we had other friends and family in Yemen, they had to flee. Who talks about that? And thrown out of Iraq, out of Iran. Apartheid, they say. Where's the apartheid when you've got Muslim Arab judges in the Supreme Court who actually sentenced the previous Prime Minister of Israel, obviously a Jew? There's Arab Muslims in the army, Arab Muslims in the hospitals, universities, everywhere. Where's the apartheid? I'll tell you where the apartheid is in Cyprus. It's been split into North Muslim North, Turkish Muslim North, and Greek Christian South, and nobody cares about that. Nobody calls that apartheid. But let me talk about apartheid. Where's the and colonised by Turkey? Where are the Jews in any of the Islamic countries? Where? They've got chucked out there hundreds of thousands. Why is Europe on a death wish? Suicide mission, letting all these poor people in. You're a religion of tolerance, but we've got to be careful what we say, I'm afraid. Yeah, be careful, but the Ummah of the world, what I do, mate, is set to take over the world. Read the Quran. I don't know why these politicians don't read it and see what it says and the hadiths. And I stress, we love the Muslim people. We love Arab people. Not Arabs are the same as the Greeks. What their ideology teaches. Same culture. Family people, hospitable, lovely people, the Arabs. So we love everyone. We try especially the Bengalis, very nice people. Bengalis, lovely people.
Thank you so much for your time on camera today, guys.
God bless Israel. God bless everybody.
I'm
Yisrael Chai. God bless the people of and these are the end times. The Lord Jesus is coming back soon.
My name's Louis from Another Alternative.
Thank you.
You can see my work on YouTube.
Another Alternative.
Another Alternative.
Oh, I've never heard that one.
YouTube and TikTok and Twitter. So
Another
you can find me on those sort
and
of
your name
platforms.
is
Louis.
Louis.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you, Louis. Nicholas and Andrew.
Yeah, it's a live stream right now. So yeah, because I'm
so we love the Palestinian people that despise Hamas, who's persecuting the poor Palestinian people who deserve the same way they had regime change and chucked out poor old Saddam. Let's chuck these lot out and have a regime change in Gaza. While their three leaders are sitting pretty in where is it, Qatar, on 11 billion pounds between them. Can you believe it? 3 billion, 4 billion, 5, whatever they got, adds up to 11 billion between three of them, while their countrymen are starving, but they don't care. Human shields kill the children. Oh, they're killing women and children. Well, that's funny, because you send them out as human shields and you place them in the hot spots. Fact, and you won't let them leave because you want them to die so you can cry crocodile tears. When the bomb blame the Jews. When a missile hit the Hamas, Gaza hospital, immediately the whole world and the media blamed the Jews. Especially the BBC. And the BBC. And who was it fighting? Hamas misfired it. Corporation. Hamas misfired their missile. I won't be surprised if Hamas fired that missile on purpose. I won't be surprised. On purpose. They do things like that. I'm sorry.
Thank you so much for your time on camera today. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you, Louis. Thank you, Louis. And watch another alternative for what's best in the news.
I mean, I'm an impartial freelance journalist.
Impartial.
I cover everything. I cover everything.
But the truth is out.
I cover everything.
Let God be true and every man a liar. Thank you, Louis. Romans 3, I believe.
Thank you so much. Take care. Have a good one. Thank you. So guys, yeah, we just did a very interesting interview with these three really well-spoken individuals. They were talking about various stuff to do with the Israel and Gaza conflict. So yeah, that was pretty interesting. Thank you so much for tuning into today's stream once again. We'll try to secure another interview. If not, we'll be ending this very shortly. But yeah, the crowd is sort of thinning out now. The whole thing has largely ended, but it has been a successful live stream today, especially at the beginning where it was sort of kicking off and the police had to form a cordon. So I'll be uploading that later on today, so stay tuned for that. guys, we're now going to wrap up the live stream. Thank you so much for tuning in. It's been a pleasure covering all of this. It's quite windy at the moment, so I'm just holding the camera right now so it doesn't fall over. But yeah, thank you once again. Shout out to all the moderators for keeping the live chat clean today. Much appreciated. We'll be live again sometime next week, so stay tuned for that. Remember to hit the bell notification bell icon so you get notified whenever I start a live stream or upload new video or short, or on the community tab for live updates. So yeah, once again, thank you for tuning in. We'll be live again probably on Saturday sometime next week. See what's going on. I'll check online. I think there could be some sort of another Israel rally, so yeah, I'll just stay up to date. But thank you once again, and have a lovely rest of the weekend, and take care everyone. Bye bye.